Good morning. Good morning and happy 4th of July. It's a very interesting way that I can say I am in America, soy americana. And it's funny because years and years ago, I remember going to France and somebody there told me, where are you from? I said, Peru. And they said, oh, Americana. And my first instinct was to say, no, I'm from South America. I'm from Peru. This is before I moved here. And they were like, yeah, Americana. I'm like, oh, that's true. So it is so incredible how America, which is North, Central, and South, it's always more identified by being American if you are from North America. But the truth is that America is the whole continent, right? So it is funny. Lately, I adopt a phrase, very catchy. I heard him from Bert Oliva. Woohoo, make it happen. And Bert Oliva says, Cuban born, American made. So I love it. So I always say I'm Peruvian born and American made, but altogether it's American. So here it is, my American flag. This flag is year-round in our complex, in our townhouses here in Florida. And the reason I wanted to pop in and just chat a little bit with you, because it's 4th of July and it's an incredible different times in the 3 decades that I am in this country. When I moved here 3 decades ago, I actually was surprised by many things, but I feel like I can share this story, of course. My dad came to visit one of my relatives, his sister in New York. And from the very first trips that my dad made to the United States of America, my dad was just fascinated with the American people. My dad just will always come back home, and I do remember hearing him stories about, you should see how Americans, this is kind of tiny things that when you leave here, you tend to forget. My dad used to say, Americans will respect the laws, Americans will stop in a red light, which for us in South America is like, wow, somebody respect the red light. It's kind of like a nonsense here in America to tell someone that the traffic, if you haven't traveled, I recently hear that only 10% of Americans have passports and have been out of the U.S., which is sad. It's super sad, because this is the greatest country in the world. And if every American had the chance to just go out, they will really, truly appreciate this country a lot more than what they do now. It's stories that I just feel like sharing today because it's 4th of July. Woo-hoo! And so my dad was always talking great things about Americans. He admired the Americans. Of course, we will call them gringos. The gringos. Gringos is not a derogative word. We don't use it as saying something bad. To us, gringos is somebody blue-eyed, light hair. It could be a gringo from Sweden, honestly, in South America. That's the way. And everything I talk about Peru is 3 decades ago. So please, I want my Peruanos, don't forget that I left in the 80s. So it's really, really different, I know, at this time. So my dad wanted to give this opportunity, this land, for his 5 kids. And he worked so hard. My dad worked so hard to bring us to America. And it took 12 years, for what I remember, the journey to get the green cards in our hands. And my dad was just so committed to do it the right way, so committed to actually stay here legally and do all the paperwork like it's supposed to be. My sisters came years before we got the green card, just visiting, and my dad was just so very firm in his belief on being in this country and obeying the laws and all that. So he actually told my sisters, no, don't stay. You just stay whatever the time that they were permitted, and then they go back to wait till we have all our paperwork ready, green cards and all. to actually come to the United States. And my story is that is my dad's dream, and I'm thankful not only for him but to his sister that insisted that he should bring my aunt. She missed my dad so much. Both are in heaven now, but both work very hard. They really help each other to bring the families, and that's how I got into this country 30 years ago. And 30 years ago, what did I find? I find in America that it was, what my dad said was true. The fact that people were very obedient to the laws. And that's kind of like insane 30 years later to say, well, yeah, we're supposed to obey the laws. We're supposed to do this, to have a peace and a great community that you live in. I do remember one thing that was funny to me is that as a 20-some-year-old girl coming from Peru, we're in Peru, all your, you are actually have to vote. It's mandatory to vote. So you have to be for one party or the other. Even if you believe it or not, you have to belong to some because you have to vote. Actually, it's funny over there, you don't have really an ID, again, 30 years ago. You don't have an ID, you have a voter's registration card. That's how we lived. Voter's registration card was your life. If you voted, you were up and good. Otherwise, you had to pay penalties. If they stop you for whatever reason, or you have to show your voter's registration card and you didn't have the active and valid vote stamps in your document, you were, committing an infraction and you had to pay penalties. So when I come to this country and I meet all these guys, my age too, 20-some, right? They are not interested in politics at all. I'm talking about 1989, 1990s, early 90s, at least the people I met in Florida. And nobody really was interested in politics. And it's incredible for me to see this transformation 30 years later, that everyone is interested, and I'm very happy. And finding out that it's interesting now, finally 3 decades later, America woke up to politics. Unfortunately, I feel like it's a young country to participate in I don't want to change this subject. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's great that everybody is trying to get an input to get educated and have really good conversations about what's the best for you, for the economy that you live, for your family, and support, because it's really important. The actual future of this beautiful American flag that we have here, it is in your hands, and that's the way I feel. I feel like everybody can follow this dream. My dad had a dream of a country where people really work. They were educated to follow the rules and respect each other. It's so many good things here. So many good things. I only find good things, actually. I will focus just on the good things. There's great people that is only there to serve. So many volunteers around this country with any kind of thoughts. That my recent found is this rocks, painting rocks project. I forgot the exact name, but it's the Kindness Rocks project. And this is started by an American lady, and now it's a worldwide movement. And I got fascinated because it's just the thought of giving someone a moment. You find a rock just hidden or somewhere with a very beautiful, positive message that it could also be important and actually change the state, the day of that person. So yeah, I got all my kids, and I'm expecting 4th of July to be my starting point for painting rocks with great messages, kind messages for around the world. Because I plan to paint my stones and take them also on my trips, because yes, I do feel like this too shall pass, and we will be traveling, we will be excited about new things, and especially the world, in my opinion, took a break from humans. Whoever was able to do the lockdown and let some of the monuments in Italy and some of the places to take just a little bit of a break, I think is amazing. And if we are all very conscious about the world and about how we need to live, how do you need to use your reusable bottle, please, and don't litter, don't generate so much garbage, especially now in COVID-19. I'm seeing a step back in the fight for having a cleaner world. So I do appreciate anything you can do to save our country and save your house, your place. I mean, this message is mostly for Americans because it's 4th of July. Woo! And I am really happy. It's 4th of July. That was my story, how my dad brought me to this beautiful, beautiful country. I love America. I feel American, and I am American. And I do work every day with a conscious mind to be someone here in this country that is contributing with the economy of the country, contributing with the values that needs to stay forever in this country, because this country is the greatest country in the world. Please get your passport. I'll show you that what I'm saying is the truth. I'm not saying America is the best in this topic or in every topic. In general, North America is the best country in the world. Thank you. This is all for now. And this is my happy 4th of July headband, my t-shirt. And I hope you really, truly dedicate this day to America, to reevaluate your actions. How are you helping this country? How are you promoting peace? How are you helping with equality? How are you helping with cleaning the world? It's a lot to do, guys. We have a big challenge. 2020, big challenge, but we are in the best country in the world with the best resources in the world. And I'm so thankful to be living here. So I'm seeing a lot of people jumping in, or you can watch the replay, but that was a recap of what America it is for me. And I hope you really, truly enjoy this day and keep planning. Eat good. Goodbye, amigos.